there's two sort of general themes I want to touch on, and they coincide with each other a bit. So it might just be like one overarching theme. As a society, as an audience to celebrity and entertainment, why is there so much attention in the form of judgment given to someone that is just failing at something, or who's going through a tough situation or something like that, right? Almost as if we're rooting for people's downfall. Like, we enjoy seeing people fail. So there's a term for this. Like Princeton University did a whole like study or whatever, and the word that was coined is a German word is Schadenfreude. So this is the experience of pleasure, joy, or self-satisfaction toward another person's misfortune. Schadenfreude, German term, translates to damage, which is the Schaden part, and joy is Freude. So it's the ripple of delight you get from watching, like, fail compilation videos, or the twinge of excitement you get when a rival co-worker doesn't get the promotion they expected, blah, blah, blah. Like that, it sounds like pure haterism. If we just translate that, it sounds like haterism in my mind. Mm-hmm. So in the words of our elders, where we come from, we live in a world filled with haters. Our dad always talking about haters and shit. So
every day.
Thoughts on it?
Well, yeah, I mean, you definitely see that where, especially social media, you see on the comments, you see somebody post a video, and them, taking an L, and the internet is undefeated, right? Like it's zero fucks. So, it does feel like people actually get pleasure out of people's, downfalls and whatnot. And honestly, I think it's like psychologically, it's probably one or two things. So one, makes you feel better about your situation.
Right,
if you have that mindset, like in your own mind, you're like, all right, I feel better about my shitty life because this other person's failing as well. Or it's like, you're just, you're not where you want to be in your life, and you see somebody doing something that you want to do, or they're more successful at it than you are when you tried it. So,
I mean, I ain't go front. I think it's a thing where, in his particular case, I think.
And we're talking Jonathan Majors.
Yeah,
perfect case study for this.
Yeah. If we talk about him, people love people. I think, and with anybody, I think people love to help you rise up until you get to a point. Like, you can't rise up to a point where it's like, yo, this nigga's unreachable. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? In his case, he failed before he was able to be
it's
unreachable.
Like right on.
Yeah, he was on the cusp. Yeah. It's like, yo, he's hanging with Michael B. Jordan.
Like, man, all you gotta do is not fuck up.
And then he fucks up doing the one thing that
the
you
roller coaster is like about to literally get to the fun part.
But this hurts because, and in the last the last session we talked about Michael B. Jordan, and you mentioned him not being that good of an actor.
I said
not that great of an actor. Sorry,
we got a reference because I said he wasn't a great actor. He was a good actor. All right.
Okay, that's valid.
All right,
like he won't win an Oscar, but he'll win a BET award.
All right, yeah, let's go.
Nah, he'll get a little bit over a BET award. I feel like maybe not the
What's
Oscar.
Over a BET award?
Like Film Critics Award or something like that. One of these.
It depends on the role, man. It depends on the role.
All right, so my whole point is, it hurts because Jonathan Majors, in my opinion, he has the makings of a great actor. He has roles where that is great acting. Like Last Man in San Francisco, that was a great performance.
Five Bloods was really good.
The Five Bloods was a good performance.
And I think it was the last time
Lovecraft Country.
He was great in that shit.
I'm like, man, this dude is the one.
Yeah. His trajectory was there. Like, he was going to be like that next. I think within that realm of like black dudes who could be Denzel and like them. I think him and Damson were like the dudes who could kind of get you there.
Yeah. I don't think Damson can be Denzel, but
you see that?
I like Damson.
You ain't see that? You ain't see that episode of Snowfall where they was in the car, man.
I think we got to see another we'll talk about Snowfall for sure. I think we got to for Damson. I think we got to see one more extremely impactful role from him to put him in the talk about him having that trajectory. He does have the trajectory, but it's not for me. Like Snowfall almost solidifies it. Now he's got to show a little bit more range for me.
He's showing.
It's not like I'm not the ultimate critic here. You ain't got to prove it to me. This is just my perspective.
He's showing the greatest range ever right now. He's dating Lori Harvey. he has to act like he likes her.
Lori Harvey is the access card.
It's a great PR move ever.
It's the access card, all right? I feel like she's a part of the process, and maybe this is not true. I'm sorry, Lori, whatever. But, like, I feel like in your deck of cards for success, you know, this is your starter kit, and Lori Harvey is a part of that starter kit.
But in her angle front, and she's smooth though, cause she's great at
this is the bridge you have.
Breakthrough starter kit.
She's amazing. Angle front, she's amazing. And if dating Lori Harvey gets me to the next, I will. Shit, you can get me from level 1 to 2. You know, what
I'm also saying that like that. You know, maybe their love is real. Like I don't know. So whatever.
Who knows, man? You see what happened to Michael B.
He was at that game looking sick.
And I think that's just the.
I think it's a nigga game looking sick.
Hey man, I feel for the man. I'm not even making fun of him. I feel for him in a sense, just because like you got.
It feels like the most perfect moment that they caught though. Like I think we all felt that moment. You've been there before.
Like who would have ever thought Michael B. Jordan take an L like that though? Like.
It didn't the game after.
Like Creed Michael B.
Stay your ass at home.
This is Creed Michael B.
Like who's turning down Michael B? He's not.
I ain't gonna front, but I see the thing is in her defense, like I treat her the same way we champion like Future for dating like all these women or like whoever. I treat her the same way. I champion her for dating all these dudes and breaking their hearts. And we ain't even said like she ain't yet having sex with these niggas. Nothing. Who knows? But she is breaking.
Like have you heard her voice? Yeah. I have never heard Lori Harvey's voice. I don't know if I'm just not tuning in, but I don't like
sexual, beautiful voice, beautiful voice.
Like majestic. She's just a majestic creature.
But like I say that to say, Jonathan Majors was this close to getting that Lori Harvey starter package on out the roof.
I wonder who it was gonna be.
It was. I think it was. But
why do you feel like this is obvious? This is obvious. Why is the reaction like so massive
that he?
I mean, you know, honestly, it's really
without knowing everything. I mean, it's like the details are there, so we can.
I think we can make the details are there, and people are speculating so much that you can go in any direction. So if you tell a really convincing story that fills in the hole, the masses don't know, and you post that shit, like, dude, you're gonna get either way. You're gonna get a lot of exposure with that thought process, whether people like it or not.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what do we know for sure about Dana White? He slapped the
shit out of his woman.
Of his woman, and then started a league called Slap Fights.
But you know,
all right, now, it's like
he did what?
You see that shit?
No, I didn't know.
You know the whole like league
slapping face, like where they hold that bar and they slap that shit.
Wow,
he started that.
That was response.
But
wow,
like that would have been the easiest headline ever.
Mm-hmm.
If the whatever control like stopped that from not getting pushed out like that, but the narrative was right there. Anybody could have wrote an amazingly easy story about Dana White in that instance, but it
really was brushed to the side at a time where, and then you had the whole like Kyrie that whole incident was like running news at that time. So when the Dana White thing happened, it just felt like I don't know why I felt like this. Oh, it's not a big deal. This will blow over. Why? I actually felt that way.
Because you've seen it and there's nothing to speculate on. You've seen it.
So
and
you think
exactly
so?
What
the
happened.
Air of mystery.
There's no mystery to it. It's set in stone. We don't have to ask no questions about what happened. There's no like theories I come up with.
He made a statement. She made a statement. They're married, so they're
and we're done. And that's it. It's like I don't have to speculate on something I got facts on. That's it. You can't speculate on facts.
Exactly.
Facts are just what it is.
So I would say, like, while I don't agree with that, with the dynamics here, I think that was the reason maybe it didn't blow up. Or conversely, this is one of the reasons why the Jonathan Majors situation, there was so much, blow up situation about it. Just because you can speculate all day. And then it's like so many twists and turns.
And the text messages showed that the nigga did something. Like, we don't know what he did, but he did.
It looks very manipulative. And then what's worse is like you got people who just come out of nowhere and say, "Hey, Jonathan Majors always been like this." Like that director, I don't know his name or anything, but you got people like now having a story.
Yeah.
The thing is also, if you in that position, you gotta just be smarter, bro. Like, if a chick is like beating you gotta just get your ass out the car, man. Because you gotta think in your head, one, I'm a black man. Two, this is a white woman. This shit there ain't no PR spin in the world. I'm talking, what's her old girl name off of Scandal? She couldn't spin this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
I can't really imagine a situation where you call the cops to kind of, I guess, protect yourself and it go well.
I feel like everything he tried to do to cover up something has backfired dramatically.
Yeah, and he wouldn't have had to do this shit if he just
calling
got
the cops,
the fuck out
releasing the text.
Gotta leave.
You gotta get the fuck out of there, man. Like, and especially like I said, you got a lot. Like, he's not just supporting himself. He's supporting probably his family and shit. So his decisions are like, yo, I could whoop her ass and see what happens, or I could get the fuck out the car. As a black dude dating a woman, any woman, period. I think you just gotta make that choice, bro. Like, you got a lot to lose, my nigga. Like, even if she start whooping your ass first, there's still no spin you could put on that bitch. Like, oh man, you know, she whooped my ass first, so I had to hook her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't spin it.
Yeah, it would never justify you taking that action.
And then you gotta think, you getting however millions from Disney, nigga. This is Disney. This ain't like fucking 20, like what is it, A24, where you might be able to David Cho that shit or whatever.
You can't take a hit and still have that Disney contract.
Yeah, like, and exactly, you can't do that. Like, especially with Bob Iger back, nigga, you are.
So this all falls in his lap. Like, Jonathan is this.
It's over.
A series of stupid decisions.
No, just one decision. It was dumb as fuck. It's one bad decision.
So when we think about like, are they really, like, if he really did it, then nobody's really preying on his downfall. You know?
No.
They're just kind of speaking about their feelings on the truth. But I guess once we kind of hear, I guess, the next steps, I guess whatever from the Lord, where are we at with it now? Because like,
she got an order of protection against him.
And that just came out today. PR team dropped him.
Management team
dropped him.
The court date is on the 8th.
That was today?
Yeah.
We just learned that she
order protection.
Order protection.
Okay, but before that, his PR team dropped him.
Yeah, that was last week. Management team dropped him last week, so they know something. Like something's off, because like you're not gonna leave the money train before that motherfucker leaves it. Like they called that nigga before he got to the first stop. Yeah. He left the station, but he wasn't at the first stop where.
They definitely know all the facts on the back.
Yeah,
because their reaction is like
yeah.
And I was saying, like, Joe Budden, they was talking about it, and they said they had it was actually a month. They really didn't act swiftly. It feels like they acted swiftly by dropping them.
Yeah. But the thing is also, in that situation, is like, his saving grace right now is Disney not dropping his ass shit. I think once Disney drops him, it's a dub. It's over. Everything is finished. There ain't no coming back.
They have so much tied up into him, though. And it's like, much. It's more than just the contract. Like, clearly, we already know he's in, like, 3 different shows, or 2 shows, and clearly the upcoming movie that he is the main guy for, like you were saying. And how can you, like, you know, snatch all of that back?
You got to rewrite scripts.
You know, you've already, like, gotten the audience so, you know, hyped up for him as Kang, and switching him out at this point would hurt that film.
Yeah.
Would definitely hurt that film at a time where they
couldn't roll with the concept of the variants.
Yeah. Because you know what, they're trying to always.
They can't variant like another person.
Yeah, you
can't. And also, like, the Marvel movies right now are taking a hit. Like, people are talking like the shows and the movies are getting negative reviews. So you throw this wrench in there, you know what I'm saying? It adds that.
Because this is supposed to be the one that gets it back on track.
Yeah.
Like, because when we think about the last few ones, for me, Doctor Strange was a slight disappointment.
Yeah.
Solid, but slight disappointment.
Thor was ass.
Thor was even larger, like way like a for sure disappointment for me. And I love the
Thor series. I love it.
Quite honest, and this was just nowhere near. So it's like this seemed like the one that was going to put it back on track with the hype, with, you know, all the stories kind of coming in, with them introducing the new, like, he's supposed to be the lasting, like, villain.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be the new Thanos.
He's the guy. Yeah. He's the guy. Like, he has a whole movie centered around him being the motherfucking guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was a $1 billion movie.
Do we see this actually?
His shit was the next Avengers Endgame. That movie was the first part before the second half.
$1 billion, bro.
Yeah.
That was the end game for.
Yeah, this is the phase. This phase 4 and 5. It was a dub. Like, they introduced mutants in this phase and all this shit. Like, they're setting everything up.
Which, by the way, I've been waiting for this, man. Like, I'm excited about the whole X-Men, like, introducing some X-Men into this.
Yeah.
Like, those were the dopest comic books when I was a kid. Going to the comic book store, And like when I actually discovered that the X-Men was rolling around with the Avengers,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that concept was crazy.
It's great. It's like, damn.
I saw they about to and they're about to like at least release some hints for Magneto finally meeting his daughter.
That's fire.
Scarlet.
That's fire.
In the upcoming movie. So
see, he ain't gonna be a part of that shit because he wanted to act a dumbass in a whip, in a taxi. You gotta think about it. You wake up every morning with a headache because you made
maybe it was like too much testosterone from like the Creed 3. I'm not giving him an excuse.
Nigga still is a character.
Man, you saw what happened to Chris
Brown. That sounds
like that whole thing.
Chris Brown.
Chris Brown got enough talent. He could dance. He could sing. He was raw enough to still like his trajectory went from like this to like this.
And now he's just wading in the water.
Yeah.
Chris Brown still was on the up and up, right? But with Jonathan Majors, it's like, his only MO is acting.
He can't dance.
I'm trying to see.
He can't dance. This nigga can't hit a flip and land on the shit when March Madness hit. He can't do that.
So I'm like, all right, like what's gonna stop that decline? You know what I mean? Like, all right, so other recent declines, you got like Kanye's decline, but it didn't seem as consequential.
Shit, Kanye went from a billionaire to a millionaire.
Yeah.
That's a lot of it. He lost more money than Jonathan Majors. This nigga
Of course.
Kanye was like, I'm the richest black man to just being a black man.
Well, I mean, he
rich.
What would you say? I mean,
he rich as fuck.
How steep was that drop off?
It was like $2 billion or $3 billion to like $400 million.
That looks, that's a lot.
Feel me? That's a lot of bread. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't.
And it's like that's how
I'll take the $400 million.
I'm taking it.
I had $3 billion though.
Like he was richer than Jay-Z, but now he's just like, $400 million. Like, and I say that like I got $400 million.
What happened with the Adidas contract though? Like, did they try to come like get him back?
They wanted to sell the rest of them shoes, but then the backlash from that was too much. So they said, "Yo, fuck this. We just gonna take that loss." And it's like I think it's like $1 billion. Or something
yeah. So it's official now. Like they
ain't never go back.
But they have come to an agreement to sell all remaining $500 million worth of Yeezy sneakers. This year somehow.
Keep the logo on.
And I seen the motherfucker without that 450 on the side. Agreement. I said these shits are like this.
Nobody's
knockoffs.
Okay, all right. So we're talking about fails, and I'm glad that we mentioned Kanye. I think that's perfect. Are we going to give room for these guys to actually fail and come back, or is it just too drastic? They're like gone. Like, do we really think Kanye is canceled forever? Do we think Jonathan Majors, like, can he actually come back? Are we going to give these guys room for a comeback? Like we should, just in general, like in this everyday second shit,
chances, like because that whole idea that everybody deserves a second chance type deal. But I feel like Kanye had multiple chances, at least within, like, not from a monetary perspective, right? Like he had that big downfall, but from like an audience and like a following, he really injured that, you think so? 10 to 15 times.
Yeah.
I mean, just like
I don't think Kanye's canceled.
Not canceled,
right.
But he's like, I think if Kanye dropped the album, that shit's still gonna do numbers. Niggas still gonna listen.
Yeah, and I think he can still create a moment. Like he has that. His influence is still relevant.
Yeah, I mean, because
he just got to chill out.
He got to shut the fuck up.
Which I think that's what he's doing, right? That's what he's doing.
Yeah, he's definitely.
It seems like he's doing some regular shit.
Stop wearing a fucking stocking cap over his face. He's fine, but I think he just needs to shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, we know it's you. Like, we know the fuck. You're not robbing nobody, bro. We know it's you. Like, do you do it to get noticed or not go unnoticed?
Yeah, it's that like the statement type of things that like don't really hit how they need.
Yeah, they
how
don't.
He wants them to hit. Like, I don't know. But speaking of fails, or perceived failure, we clearly just had. You guys hear that Giannis statement recently?
Yes, out there.
Where clearly they top team in the league, #1 record. Clearly the favorite for the championship, and then they get taken out by the 8th seed that had to fight through the play-in. Which I'm not like.
I love that story though.
I look like Jimmy Butler is that guy.
Playoff Jimmy's a thing.
Playoff Jimmy is next level. Like if you see the stat increase, it's wild to see the increase.
He's him. Ever since from Chicago on, he's been that dude.
But that statement.
So he's saying there's no failure in sports. This is that's the exact statement that some people are saying.
I think he balanced it with an interesting way to say it.
If you work your
there's
job,
good days, bad days. Some days you're able to be successful. Some days you're not. Some days it's your turn. Some days it's not your turn. That's what sports is about.
But the two statements that stuck out to me was like, all right, look, you work your job every year. You working to get a promotion. If you don't get a promotion in 1 year, is that year a failure?
You didn't
every
reach
year
the
you
goal.
don't get a promotion.
If you don't reach the goal, it's a failure. And this is going back into even discussing, I think we brought this up before. At one point in time, you did not believe in failures. You didn't want to hear that.
I still don't.
So what do you call it?
I mean, the only truly, I don't want to be cliche or anything, but really, you really only can fail if you just say fuck it, I quit, because it is a constant journey to what you want to accomplish. Now, I get the concept of not achieving what you wanted to achieve, what you really set out to achieve, but to call it a failure, just kind of, I think, to label it that is
it's because is that word dramatic for you?
I mean, it is. It's just, it can only be a failure. It's just if you're no longer doing it and you just stepped out. But I'll entertain the conversation, and I know what we're talking about here.
No, homie, this is a mistake.
Bro, you weren't successful this year. All right, you weren't a failure, but all right. But I know. Well, okay, go ahead.
To put it real simple, that nigga failed. They failed. Classified in the vein of sports. The definition in sports, you play to win the game. That nigga didn't win the game.
Either you win or lose.
Exactly.
But sometimes you can tie.
This is this statement was a participation trophy statement. Hey, you ain't win, but hey, here's a trophy anyway.
Which works in this day and age.
Yeah, but
that's brilliant in this day and age.
If I'm paying you $200 million, nigga, no, hey, fuck, this is a failure. I pay you this money to win championships. You played to win the game. If you didn't play to win the game, and there's no success, you wouldn't give a fuck if you was the first seed or the 8th seed. No, you play to win.
Yo, we are missing Cameron because Cameron would have gone in on everything that we saying about this. Yeah. He would be totally on Giannis' side. Speaking of, Cameron is gone for the day. He's coaching. He's got a coaching gig right now. We got Dwayne. Dude, I know. It's who the fuck are you? You sitting in this chair
Gotta take the time. I grew up with both of them, man. We grew up same city, man. So I'm in town for my friend's on tour, so I help road manage his tour and all that. So he's kind of a thing now. So I'm just being the friend and making sure everything is handled road wise and setups and just making sure he could put the best foot forward to continue to grow his audience, and which is all I ever try to do with anything that friends do. Hence why I am here, because these are my people and I just want to talk shit with my friends. So
man, it's good seeing you. I know you coming from New York into Atlanta. I know it's been a while.
Yeah, and also I just want to, New York as in New York City, because the thing in New York motherfuckers is if you say New York, some motherfuckers say, oh, I'm from upstate. That ain't really New York. You're from upstate. So New York is
clarify, where are you at?
I may be in Brooklyn sometimes. I may be in Queens at times. I be telling chicks sometimes that it's different ones, different chicks. So shit. But now I'm based in the city. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Yo, what is the major difference, just from your time in spending time in New York, spending time in Atlanta?
Living in New York and Atlanta's slower, true indeed, but I feel it's
pace wise
is slower. Not the people. The people are not slower. People are actually smart. But I just think New York, you wake up here, you go to sleep here, it's quiet. You know what I'm saying? You wake up 9 o'clock, get your breakfast, coast through the day. Up that motherfucker. If I ain't up by 7, it's a motherfucker up at 6. Niggas is playing fucking salsa music at 6:50, 5:30 in the morning. It's constantly go. I always tell people down here you could your quality of life is better. You could raise a family. Up there you just it's constantly business, a business trip. You don't rest. I don't think in 11, 12 years up there I've never had a good night's sleep in New York. I never went to sleep and said, you go to sleep by force. Because you know what I'm saying? Because motherfuckers would be up there, you're just talking and you just sitting there at 12, you're all right, well, I gotta go to sleep just to wake up and do it again. It's a constant hustle. The city's great, the people are amazing. People give New Yorkers this bad rap, they're this, that. I'm they're the nicest people. If you need $1 and you on the street and hey, I need $1, oh, here, take it. You lost, they'd be the first ones to give you directions and walk you to the place. I'm yo, go here, do this. They're the nicest people, but they just are New Yorkers. You know what I'm saying? And New York people will tell you in a heartbeat, I'm from New York, or I'm from Brooklyn, I'm from Harlem, I'm from the Bronx. And that's all fine and dandy. But like I think down here is just more like your quality of life is better. Like you could raise a family and like go have great schools. Not saying that they don't have good schools up there, but down here I feel like you could kind of create a base. Up there it feels like you just working to get to a point.
It's
so
a constant hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a means to an end.
Yeah, it's a means to an end. Down here, it's like, all right, now I can kind of be down here for 60 years and like have family reunions and have everybody come down. You know what I'm saying? Like New York, I ain't never had nobody visit me in New York. Like I was like family wise, ain't nobody ever visit because it's too much. It's too much. Yeah. Like niggas don't want to come up there and like, what are you? I'm not taking my mom on a train. what I know, you know what I'm saying? I'm not telling my mom she's not going on a train because if somebody tap my mom on, whoop their ass. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I just don't. I'd rather, you know, keep New York as my thing. But I wouldn't recommend it for a person who does not know themselves. And we was talking about it earlier. New York is a place where you go if you know yourself, because everything you do, you're gonna get challenged on, like everything. Like I see Muslims eat pork. You know what I'm saying? They challenge you, like whatever your beliefs is, they gonna get challenged. And if you know yourself, you good. But if you don't, and there's a hint of doubt, you might as well move your ass on out. But Atlanta is just, I ain't gonna front. I like Atlanta a little bit more. But also, I only stayed in New York because this nigga told me to. This nigga, I was like, yeah, I'm ready to move. And nigga said, no, you gotta finish the show series. You gotta get these ideas. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, fuck yeah. Nah, I went to dip like after a while. Like after like first 2 years, I hated it. Man, like you gotta figure out how to get around and your money, like the cost of living and the median is the shit don't match up. Like it's motherfuckers up there who I know make bread and they stay in uptown, they stay in Harlem or something. You know what I'm saying? You would think that they live in the city and everything's smooth, but it's a constant grind. It's like your money it don't go far. It don't go far up there. You know what I'm saying?
So Atlanta, you can actually find yourself in Atlanta, but you got to know yourself already.
Yeah. In Atlanta, like we were talking about earlier, like we moved down here green, man. Like we had no idea what the hell we were. You know what I'm saying? What we were doing, but we figured it out down here. You know what I'm saying? And we kind of had like each other. You know what I'm saying? We had like a good base of me, him, Mel, like so. We found ourselves here. Up there, you can't do that. Yeah. Unless you was born there. If you was born there, then hey, that's all you know. But moving up there, man, ain't no way, man. Like I done seen some shit, like you know what I'm saying, that make you be like, hey, I can't fuck with this. And it's done by people who you would think don't do these type of things. You know what I'm saying? It's a nigga from Saturday Night. It's a dude from I ain't gonna say the name. It's a dude from Saturday Night Live, and we were in the club one time. I'm drunk as hell, and like you see him. I'll tell you who it is after, but you see him and you be like, oh, you know, this motherfucker in the corner. I'm like, and you see him and you like, this is not.
Man, that's normal.
It's normal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, I don't do drugs, so I'm like, yo, I was so thrown off because I'm like, yo, damn, this guy is really, you know.
This is casual.
Yeah, and everybody was just there like it was nothing. And you see him and you like, yo, this dude is everywhere.
So when at some point that is no longer a shock to you?
No, fuck it ain't. Seeing niggas do drugs is always gonna be a shock to me. I like that's just like smoking weed is one thing, but seeing like people like do it in a way where you're just like, yo, this is crazy. And then like my boy being like who he is now, and like it opens up, it creates access to new rooms and like you know what I'm saying, new crowds and new spaces and you know different people who I didn't have access to before. And you see how we see it done as a taboo, right? Like we see people do drugs as a taboo. They do it just to keep going, like just to keep up. Like
got you. Yeah.
So for me, I was like, I'd scared. But you again, it's big of
noise. Never been to New York myself, but it's not like high on my list of places to visit. But I do wanna like, you know, check it out just to be able to reference it in conversation in a sense. You know,
it's definitely not Sex in the City.
I love the visit. Yeah, and I love that anytime that I visit, it's always something new that I'm getting into. And I'm pretty sure, like, is it still an experience where there's always somewhere new to go? Like, the first thing I heard going there is, like, you're never going to experience all of New York.
Nah, never. New York to me is like, man, it's a beautiful city. Like, I'm always in awe of still being there, Like, I still look up at the buildings like, oh, shit, I'm here. Because I think I would hit you up and like, yo, I really moved here. And I still have that kind of like excitement of the city, because like you'll you could move in so many different pockets, and you could achieve and accomplish whatever you want to accomplish up there. You know what I'm saying? Like I moved up there with what, $300, $300, and like and a job that paid what, $11 an hour, and I was like, I'll figure it out. And you could do that up there with no problem. You just have to go out and meet people, and people are very helpful.
They gotta stay on the grind.
That's it, man. And that's what New York is, man. Like New York is very much like if you got to go about you good. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody holds information. People literally will give you information to put you to that next level if you want it. You know what I'm saying? So
I got a question. All right. How does like just the average person, your peers in New York, how do they really feel about Pac?
That nigga is.
I'm sorry, I gotta ask. This is,
I ain't gonna lie, man. They don't love Pac the way that you would assume, man. Like I've had conversations with niggas like within that industry who are like, I'm like, yo, Pac is great, and I'm not the biggest Pac stan. I love him. I think
I question.
I know you got Biggie.
Yeah. But they don't. A lot of niggas feel like Funkmaster Flex in New York. A lot of niggas feel like Flex when it comes to Tupac, and
that's a hater mentality.
But they don't, sure. And I don't know why they don't like it. Like I don't get it, man. But the New York bias is real. Like New Yorkers feel very great about their artists. You know what I'm saying? But if you mention like,
and because Pac, they can't claim Pac, even though he was born like literally in Harlem.
Bro, I thought it was Brooklyn.
No, it's Harlem. He was born in Harlem.
I'll put it like this: New York has a bias. This is strictly for you. Niggas think Mobb Deep is better than Outkast.
Oh man.
Oh, yo, rest in peace to Prodigy. Rest in peace to Prodigy.
Yeah, I enjoy Mobb Deep, but I mean, like realistically, we're just talking about.
You name the group, they think they're better than Outkast.
It's just this is not a diss to Mobb Deep, but it's one topic, one feeling, gritty. That's it.
But what else are we talking about? New York. That's the feeling of New York, man. Like,
right. And out of everybody that I've listened to, I feel like when I listen to Mobb Deep, I feel like I'm listening to New York.
Yeah, it's true indeed. Like I said, I can't speak on them niggas because I'm not from New York. I just been there for a while, but that's the feeling that you get of like New York. When you hear them, like, yeah, this feels like a Brooklyn train. And the fact that they
have to put like Jadakiss in their top 5, like, is that a real thing? Not the shit on Jadakiss, but like, is Jadakiss really just top 5?
Nice, man.
Man, listen, I love Jadakiss. I think he's if he's in somebody's top 5, I'm not mad at him being in somebody's top 5. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I mean, Jada's a legend, bro. Like, and the thing is, I fuck with Jadakiss because he goes outside and he's actually when he said I'm really like he really that like I was in spots and he's like I'm right there with him. Like I have a video, I'll show you that. But he's literally right there, like right in front of me, like just vibing. And he's a regular nigga.
It's all good in the hood.
Yeah. And is it because like I try to like figure it out and I would love to. I love having conversations with people from New York, and I will bug them about Pac because
it will fuck you up because they do not like that. Listen, it's not even close. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not even close. Like it's not even.
I feel like there's a bias with New York when we're talking about like lyricism.
Yeah.
A lyricism, and B, I know like they feel like Pac just shitted on the East Coast, New York in particular.
He did.
And in my opinion, for justifiable reason, the people that he attacked, it to me is justifiable. And I feel like if that's for real, a Funk Flex mentality like that, that shit is garbage.
A lot of
and I will always argue on Pac's side in that situation.
Because I mean, because even so, like, because people talk about numbers, don't lie. We talk about stats, and there's almost no artists that like have mirrored what Pac has accomplished. Like,
right, you know what I'm saying?
Right. The only person that you can say with numbers is Eminem, and that's all. The only reason we're gonna bring. I mean, he's great. Eminem is great, but like
we know the story.
Pac is the face of rap. He is the greatest. Pac is the GOAT, okay? I'm sorry. He's the GOAT. Like,
Jay-Z not live? Like, I don't understand.
But if anybody,
I mean,
if anybody says Jay-Z is better, I'm okay with that. That's all right. But Nas is better than Jay.
Lyrics, like, for me, like, Nas is the greatest lyricist.
Lyricist, yes.
For me, right?
But Jay-Z is Jay-Z.
But Jay-Z is undeniable.
Amazing.
Like, I don't see how anybody can hate on Jay-Z just the same way I don't see how anybody can hate on LeBron or like.
There would be Nas would be this fire right now if Jay didn't show, hey, we could still rap and be popular at this age, because it was a cutoff before it. Like it was like, yo, after you get past
38,
yeah, like, it's done.
36.
But now Jay, Nas, they're showing, hey, we could still rap at a high level, and we don't have to make commercial records. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't have to make commercial joints. They just make fire shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's...
No, I love that that's still going on, because you still just want to hear the music, like, either way. Like, Jay is interesting, though. I haven't really loved Jay, like, any of Jay's, like, recent projects. I know, like, a lot of people love 444.
I think it's a classic.
I thought it was good as well.
I thought it was really good. Like, I'm not shitting on it in any way, but I didn't, like, love it.
It's not something I look to just like listen to anymore. But if I do turn it on, I'm gonna be like, I really appreciate this.
Yeah,
yeah.
I could bump the tracks. There's a couple that's on the that's on the playlist, like replay value. But I'd say like music wise, like Nas's style is really catering to like his older, like, and him making music in his older kind of element. Versus Jay-Z doing the same, I'd gear towards Nas a bit.
Especially with these last three, like
King's Disease.
Oh, King's Disease, that's
which is the best one out of that whole that trilogy?
I love the newest one.
I like 1 and 3. I liked all of them, but
I love all three.
Number two is
number 3 might be my favorite.
I think 3 is my favorite, but I love 2. I think Brunch on Sundays is immaculate. Like I as a nigga who brunches on Sundays, I fully related. I said, damn, brother. I said, they niggas talking to my soul.
Like a theme song.
Yeah, but Jay has a bias. I have a whole Jay-Z bias. I can't. I never. Say
that, and I love having that conversation with you.
I got a Lupe bias, so, and we can have that combo.
Lupe got 2 classics, bro. 2.
Fair enough.
Uno, dos, and
2 is a lot.
Fair enough. I mean, that's like, thank you. Like, because there's like a lot of rappers that have 0 classics, just among the people that try to make albums and cannot put together.
But let's say this. Let's just be honest. Lupe is one of the greatest lyricists of all time.
I just feel like Lupe can rap.
Lupe deserves when we talk about lyricism.
But it won't always be relevant information that you would like benefit from knowing. Like, he's gonna be super philosophical. It's like, for me, he's like the Thelonious Monk, like taking jazz that's already completely untraditional and like adding another element of untraditional another untraditional layer on top of that. To the point where, like, it's not like I get everything that the man says. Like, I think of myself as an intellectual guy, and some of the shit he says definitely goes over my head still. But
which
like,
is dope.
I like that. Like, I like that element to where, like, there's always some shit I got to figure out. But I know a lot of people don't listen to music like that, right? I know a lot of people I know I listen to music, for that reason, a lot of times. So I get it. That's why I had that bias against Lupe. But I mean, I can never, like, Jay is that guy. Like, I mean,
But I mean, Lupe is fire. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Lupe, man. I think we talk like those first 2 albums. They're both monumental albums. Cause I think he ushered in that era with the Food and Liquor, where you could be intellectual and still have hit records. You know what I'm saying? So he made it cool for people to actually want to rap.
But he was not able to capitalize on that.
That was a great time.
Like, he literally was a bridge for, at a certain time.
Will he ever get that, like, his just due? For
if it was
for opening a door for like a Kendrick Lamar, like to
if he does, it'll be in the future, man. It's not like
he ain't played a game.
He literally is an example.
And if I say Kendrick Lamar, he doesn't have that same team behind him. Like,
he didn't. I mean, Lupe ain't played a game. Lupe went against the machine at a time where they were trying to propel him to that point. Like, it's like B.O.B. Like, when B.O.B. had the records, he was with the machine. Like, B.O.B. had the records because the machine was behind him. Lupe basically told you, I never had the machine behind me. I just made fire shit, and I had dope people.
And he has continued to do so.
Yeah, and at his time where it was like, it was the turning point for his career, Superstar, he made a decision that literally negated his ability to kind of, strive for the next stage. Like, when he made Superstar, I mean, Lasers, I hate, I don't like the album. Like, there's some hot tracks on there for sure. I mean, yeah, you know what I'm saying? There's definitely some hot tracks, but that was like the label pressure. Like, this is the example situation.
Take this record and put your verses on it. We already got the chorus ready.
Right. This is if you ever want to refer to an example situation, that is the example situation of what you don't want to happen for your creative direction and everything. So, like, I think he had to be a sacrificial lamb for that. Unfortunately,
so is his career a failure?
Oh,
Can we deem that as a failure?
Nah. Okay. He got platinum. He got platinum out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's success there. That it was a drop off sales wise, but it wasn't a drop off with actual like talent. You know what I'm saying?
But the audience, like nobody is. I don't know how many people are really checking for a Lupe album.
I put like this: if Lupe,
but he still delivers.
When
Lupe teaching at MIT right now. He's like holding an MIT course right now.
Yeah.
When Lupe does a concert, it sells out. So there's still an audience. He has his built-in audience. He has a built-in fan base. That's always gonna be there.
Yeah, I don't think
he'll go. I don't think he'll do 1 million again, but I don't think he wants to at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's good.
That's not his goal when he's trying to, like, when I think of Lupe in rap and hip hop, I think of like somebody that has truly mastered the craft.
Yeah.
And you got like rappers out there that are doing really well, but they only have 1 or 2 flows, or they only make 1 or 2 kind of songs.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, yeah, you're good for that, but like, you know, and then the kids these days will like put, you know, Lil Baby's the greatest of all time. Like, look, what are you talking about, bro? Like, he's got some good shit. Like, he's got a nice flow. I can't shit on the man. He's built himself to a nice area. But like the GOAT, bro, he's one or 2 flows. Like, this man has done nothing to like master the craft. Yeah. Right now, as a individual artist, beast. Like fire. Like I would never, you know. But when you start
who are we talking about now?
Lil Baby. When you start the comparisons gotcha. And you start putting titles to it like GOAT. We talked about that last time, like, oh, everybody's dope. It's just like, you know, it's automatic.
And then it's still gonna be different for these kids, and what they're seeing is obviously different than, you know, what we tune into. So if all they tune into is Lil Baby, then, you know, that's their goal.
Yeah. Well, I like Lil Baby, but I don't understand every flow sounds the exact same, man.
But so does Common. Every flow with Common sounds the exact same.
I mean, I can't necessarily argue, but Lil Baby would never have an album like B.
Absolutely not.
Hey, I don't care who put me to
that was like
put me to the test on that one.
Never, yeah, absolutely. It's an easy argument.
I can't necessarily argue, but I mean, on that, bro, you got like some interesting like comparisons out there, man. I was out recently, you know, saw a post about like what if Wayne and 50 did a versus. And
and then
automatically
doesn't seem like it makes sense.
Automatically, you're like, what? Like, no way. And like, even so, the second thought that I have is even just as valid. Like, Wayne would, I feel like Wayne would win, but we would have to include Mixtape Wayne. We would have to include like
Mixtape
his features.
50 too, though. Can we can include Mixtape 50 as well, and that just gets overlooked. I feel like.
I just want to say first, shout out to my boy Lo for even sparking this dumb. I messaged him after he did it. I was like, yo, why would you even do this? But again, it was a New York thing. It was a New York bias. Oh, New York, 50 could beat him. And I'm like, bro, no, you can't. Like,
right.
Then it turned into, but are we getting mixtape records from Wayne? Because like, perfect. Like, we do this all the time, right? So like, we do like versus this hookah lot like spot every week. And I don't smoke hookah, but I go to kick it. And every week, it's a New York artist versus a down south type of nigga, and every week the down south nigga loses. And it's judged on by New York niggas. And I'm like, yo.
This is what I'm talking about, the bias. Like, I feel like they're like the New York like has this gatekeeping mentality of whatever lyricism is supposed to mean and who is the greatest because hip hop supposedly came out of New York. But it's like sometimes New York can't get out of New York.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, in this situation, if you get mixtape, you add mixtape Wayne, there's no way he loses. Like, here's the thing, and this is why, and this is my point. Wayne wins because Wayne is heralded in a lot of circles as the GOAT, right? So, and 50, while great, has never been heralded as a GOAT. He's a hit maker, and I guess if that's what we're judging verses on, then he got a shot. But Wayne has just as many hits.
But 50's first album is, I'm sorry, I don't know if Wayne has actually topped 50's first album.
He hasn't, and that's
even though I love Carter 2, Carter 3 is enjoyable. But it wouldn't be. But like, Get Rich or Die Trying is one of the greatest debuts in rap.
It's a monster.
It's a moment album.
It's a crazy because like when you
and I believe it went down.
Yeah, it did.
When you try to compare albums, the only one that you can really point out for me that was like, you know, that could have had that type of impact was Carter 3. Right, like Carter 2 is an audience favorite, right? It's like you know, if you're a Wayne head, you probably feel Carter 2 is your favorite album, for sure, right? That's a known thing. But as far as his biggest album, was it Carter? Because I don't know if the
Carter 3 was the event.
Carter 3,
that's
right?
that's when they sold the million the first week, right?
When you're like, all right, so those two
crossed over.
Those two juggernaut albums, Carter 3 versus Get Rich or Die Trying. We just went through this song by song.
Get Rich or Die Trying.
Get Rich or Die Trying wins, man. Like track for track.
In the club, that's a monster. That shit rings off in weddings. It's just 50 has bigger hits, but I think Wayne has more hits.
Yes, more hits, and he's a better rapper. I mean, just
like Lollipop is a big record. Like you know what I'm saying? Like we talking like Lollipop is a huge record. Then you got like Hot Boys records don't really count them old joints, but if Wayne created Bling Bling, ain't beating that. The fuck
I mean, Pac did say that.
Tupac said that.
He said that on a song.
Fuck out of here! All right, man. I'm out. I was like,
Bling Bling. Yeah, it's like it's a Friends.
But you know what I'm saying? Who coined it? You know what I'm saying? Who coined it? You know that's what.
Tupac ain't coined that shit.
No, he did. No, Wayne. I'm saying Wayne coined it, but I did hear that track that Pac said Bling Bling on.
We also heard Tupac say "Suge shot me after he died," didn't we?
No, that's not what he said. Somebody put that in. That's just like
it was like Shir Shama. It was like it was like you had to like
it was like
listen and squint your eyes like.
Oh man, you see, you had to squint your eyes.
No, bro, he had like some of the crazy. I've never seen anything like after. All right, I'm throwing away back after Bruce Lee died. Like all of all of the Bruce Lee act-alikes came out like right after that. Pac had a similar effect.
Absolutely.
Where after he died, bro, everybody coming out the woodwork looking like Tupac,
Ja Rule was like that.
Wearing bandanas, and Ja Rule was the most successful one. Right, and I don't count DMX here. I know a lot of people love to compare Pac and DMX. I don't like. It's not. Just let them be great on their own. Like DMX was that nigga too.
Right.
And like his albums went crazy as well. Like
classics.
You know what I'm saying?
Straight class back to back.
So I don't compare them, but like
maybe 3.
Yeah, man, he had 2 to me.
The first 3 like is just
his first 2 were like I put those up against anybody's first 2. To be honest.
They first 2 or just like this 2.
No, they're the first 2.
All right, that's
Nas first 2.
Nas first 2 is incredible. Illmatic,
different style.
I'm still taking DMX first 2.
Still taking DMX? Illmatic and
no, actually no. Come on.
I didn't love Nas' second album. It was cool.
You got some purists that like it was written. They say it's better than Illmatic.
No, man. Some people do say It Was Written was better than Illmatic.
And you talking Lupe? That's Lupe's favorite album. That's his go-to.
I've like literally, if you like, I've heard.
Have you listened to all of It Was Written?
Yeah. But I mean, a few times.
I love the Lost Tapes. Lost Tapes is like
I love Lost Tapes.
That's like album shit. 6.
7. I know, but it's like those sleeper songs where the verses are just
first ridiculous. 2 albums.
Lost Tapes is incredible.
As a matter of fact, there is not a better first 2 albums.
But Biggie though, Biggie's first 2 albums, it doesn't get any better.
He only got 2 albums.
This is easy.
Double album,
I like the point that you made, but this is easy.
Biggie,
it's not. It's a good.
It's not easy. That's not.
No, Biggie's first 2 albums is easy over
I'd have to
DMX's first.
I'd have to go through DMX.
Outkast's first 2 albums is better than DMX's first 2 albums.
I'd have to go.
Yes,
through
they
DMX.
are. Southern Playalistic and ATLiens. It's easy.
No, it's not.
I'm sorry.
Sean,
it's easy song for song.
I gotta go back and listen to DMX's first 2 albums, and like I'm probably gonna do this actually.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like DMX has a.
But DMX performing that in front of an audience is way hyper. Is probably a way better experience
in front of the whole world.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
That's epic right there.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
The first 2 albums is Dark.
But as albums
and Flesh of My Flesh. Probably.
And those covers were amazing.
I would put Biggie first, but I'll put DMX at a close 1B.
When I heard Slip and Falling, bro, I listened to that song like 30 times in a row, bro.
Life After Death is.
I said Biggie first.
Okay, all right,
yeah,
okay.
Biggie first,
but you said 1B. I can't do the 1B. Like it's a solid big high in that category.
It's close.
First 2 albums is Biggie easily over everybody.
It's close.
What about J-Lo? Because
his second was a dud.
Volume 1 was.
Oh yeah, that was Volume 1.
Yeah, Volume 1 didn't really. He had some slaps on there, but it wasn't a cohesive. He says it though. He's like it's not.
But like I said, Outkast, like those first 2 albums. Sorry, Southern Playalistic and ATLiens.
What were the singles on the first album?
On the first album, Crumbling Herb, Players Ball.
It's not a classic album.
Yes, it is. What are you talking about? It's not a classic album. It's absolutely a classic album. That's not a conversation. That's not an argument.
It's a good album.
Okay, so
Great. So
It's not classic.
Southern classic.
Get out and do something. That's like
classic.
Get out of here.
I feel it is, but I also can see why somebody would debate it. But ATLiens is not debatable.
That's classic
at all.
Second album's classic. First album's good, great, maybe.
You can't tell that to nobody in Atlanta.
That's what I said. Like Southern classic for sure.
Same way it's a New York bias, and like it's West Coast. Everyone has a bias. I am here to be the unbiased opinion.
All right. Okay. All right. From New York. All right,
man. That's cool, man. Well, you know, these are all classic albums, man. But we got a whole new type of shit going on with these AI songs, man.
That whole Pac and Big on a song. I'm bringing Pac up again. It's Pac Day, all right. You got the documentary just came out, like. Man. That's a really good documentary. But going back to the AI thing.
I was like, wait, Pac had an AI song? Who made the AI song?
He did. No, it's an AI song like they mashed up Big and Pac, and it's terrible.
Running? Yeah, I thought that was a made up song. I swear to God.
You thought Running was a made up song?
Back when it first came out, because like
the remix.
Anytime I heard Pac and Big on the same song, I'm like, oh, this shit made up. Like,
nah, they did two songs. They did two official songs.
I know that. Yeah. When I learned that, I was like, that's just dope.
Also, my bad. I do want to say for the Negroes like me or people like me, AI is an artificial intelligence, not Allen Iverson.
I guess. All right.
All right.
For me, I hear AI. I'm like
artificial intelligence. I guess
that's what we're talking. I hope nobody was out there thinking that AI. Allen Iverson is out here.
In the context that
rapping.
In the context. But keep bringing it full circle.
No, man, that's not. It's not good for creativity. Like, I don't want to hear like a fake Drake song, fake Kendrick Lamar song. Like, I don't know, man. That's kind of weird. It's weird. I start thinking about what they're going to do. When we talk about intellectual property, when we talk about somebody's actual likeness and their voice, like it opens up the door for some entity to just come along and, for example, drop a whole another Biggie or Tupac album with their voices, or like, that's weird, whole, like, dude. That is
my
weird.
Likeness. Like, I think that phrase, "in my likeness," is something that can like have legal connotations here. Now, I'm not a lawyer, of course, but how the power of words, and even in regular life, but in the legal sense, how much more important those like sequence of words can be. And I think like, phrases like in my likeness, as it refers to, like, that's my voice right there. Like, this is like, this is that heart on my sleeve. That's Drake and Weeknd. That voice, those voices were on point.
I have a question for y'all. So, like, how does this compare to, I guess, like the Marvin Gaye estate suing Ed Sheeran and things like that? Do you think this like could happen in this case of, like, let's say somebody does make a hit record with Drake's voice and it does chart on iTunes, like, or wherever on Billboard? Do you think he would have the right to sue?
Well, depends on who's taking credit. And Marvin Gaye, man, that estate, they do not. They are relentless.
They don't play.
I'm talking about the small. Like, first of all, I don't even know how you can hear some of this shit. All right, we talking about a drum pattern, a 1-bar drum pattern that has been copied. Like, at this point, there are no new drum patterns.
No.
Every chord progression. Well, we already know that damn near every hit, the biggest hits of all time, follow the same 4 chord progressions in a sense, like. I know there's with some variants, right? But like, even with that, how is that not like?
You can't say.
How are they winning these cases?
Now you bring up that, and we talk about AI. Let's converge. There's no new beat patterns, right? AI is taking over like beats. You make beats.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say you produce, man. So
yeah.
So,
man, there's loops
AI is about to do this. With no problem, AI is doing this right now. Like, and you can have an AI producer. Like,
you never had a chance, bro. Ever since like if you ever watch Kanye making beats, like back in the day, he's like all on the boards, like he's killing it, and then like you see the progression, and he's hitting quantize. You know what I'm saying? Like one button, like that automation right there was like one level, but this shit AI is like.
This is a serious level, and I mean I know it creates it'll be interesting because I do feel like in one way, like it's a good tool, and that's how I think we should treat it. When we start talking about something like this, like a technology replacing the human element, Like, and I know there's the reaction is very fear based. Like, oh, I'm gonna lose my job. Like, AI is doing everything. Like, I'm in UX and UI, and
I'm never gonna lose my job.
Right. I'm like, absolutely. Like, understand that this is not going to replace the human element. You still need a human to drive this information. And something like AI, all that shit is a combination of all the things that we've already expressed. Yeah. So maybe it'll force the human to express in a different way or in a more creative way. And we can utilize AI to accelerate our creativity. That's all I'm going to look at it.
And I'll say that. I mean, Autodesk, you know, that's just something that we're doing, you know, right now. But we'll just skip on what you had to say.
How you going to just drop that? Like, something that we're doing. You probably can't share it.
Well,
but
can't.
ADAs and shit, you actually
have product roadmaps and shit. I can't.
I think the thing is like, but also I think it makes all this is good until a label says, hey, we're going to create an artist. We're going to create an AI artist. Then that hit charts. And you don't have to pay nobody but the producer and the writer.
And you know, when we talked about the industry, we talked about the
producers finna come up, baby.
Yeah, like, yo, like.
This is the moment we've been waiting for. Yeah. All right, every producer out there, all right, you should be very much so an advocate of AI. No, I'm playing.
Because you don't need a person to reference songs no more, right? Like, let's say, damn, I want to make this song for Drake. Fuck it, you Drake now. You know what I'm saying? You are Drake. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You can't be Drake, but it's Drake.
In that sense, it's cool.
In the sense of like, hey, because if you were a person writing a song, you write it with another person in mind. If you're a songwriter, now you don't have to get a person to reference the record. Yo, Rihanna, I want you to sing this song.
So in that context,
and it's you singing a song.
Don't make it public. So where's the line where they make something like that public versus, hey, I'm using this to I'm using this as a tool. I'm going to submit this as a reference track. But this has the capability of being released out into the wild, and as soon as it does, people really really like it, and then like you said, it enters somehow the streaming universe.
I don't think labels give a fuck as long as they get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, which is
once they figure out a way to monetize it, it's fine.
I mean, I think it would be very interesting to see the first AI rapper. You can just call them AI.
It was one.
You can be the first early adopter.
Remember, it was the black one, but
they had one
by the white guy, and he was using the N-word.
Oh yeah,
and they got his ass out of there.
He took
niggas canceled the AI character.
He took the wrong approach, man.
But it was terrible anyway. Like it was absolutely terrible.
Yeah, actually,
detrimental.
You gotta actually make good music.
You took all the negative aspects of a culture and put it into this AI, and
I think the reason why it's such a topic is because that "Heart on My Sleeve" song is kind of dope.
It's a dope record. It's a dope record.
I have not heard it,
bro. You first hear it, you're like, all right, wow, AI.
And I feel like anybody that can be like Drake has the perfect voice. Like,
it's pretty monotone.
Enunciation to be modeled as an AI. And do you think he'll sign off on that? It's like, yeah, after I'm gone, just continue to use this and continue to make songs.
I was waiting for the moment to talk about this because if any artist wanted to take advantage of the wave, I mean, there's definitely a way you could drum up some kind of agreement.
Drake can make a decision today. I'm not going to rap anymore, but I'm going to continue to release albums.
I think there is I can't remember the artist. I didn't look deep into it, but I saw this young female artist that said that if you make a song with my voice or something like that, I'll do this with you or something. Like I have to look at that again. I can't remember.
I've seen something to that context.
But I was like, that's kind of interesting.
DAC is back on. Yeah. Tyler the Creator just came out and said, don't I think it just is in context of a posthumous album. Don't drop anything after if something happens to me.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, which is not his art. It's not his artistic and creative direction.
Exactly.
Like, it's just
Pac ain't want. He didn't want them damn albums to come out that way. Because remember, you had the originals, and then we hear some Pac's Life.
Pac's Life. Oh man, they really thought this was dope.
Bogus.
Everybody needs to chill. I was like, what?
Sorry, that's not the original.
That was really bogus, man, because it's like, out of how many... Okay, so they did the Biggie album, and the Biggie album was wrong.
Biggie Duets.
The Biggie Duets was nice.
Born Again was decent as well.
Yo, it was nice, right? Like, I'm not saying it was amazing, right?
Dead Wrong was fired, because that was the actual song. But, I mean, the posthumous releases, like, the one that came out the year after, Are You Still Down? That was the majority of Pac's music. his style. They may have like anything that was sampled. They still kept the feeling.
Bro, I love that album, bro. Him and John B.
You took him with John B. Nigga, first of all, that's a song separate from that album.
Oh, that was the vibe, though.
I love that song because we listened to that shit in Pam's car, man. Pam always had the tape. She popped that shit in, man.
Why they call them Bones?
Damn, man. No. But look, yo, that was amazing. But yeah, we'll see how this kind of plays out. You know, it's not gonna turn into anything for I think a few years. But
if the song is fire, I'm gonna listen. Period. Like,
hey, I'm sorry, I gotta switch up everything. All right, Snowfall. I just want to talk about Snowfall.
Okay.
I want to talk about the Snowfall finale real quick. Because you mentioned Damson's performance. Amazing. And you got people coming out talking about, he deserves an Emmy. It is not that serious, but he did a good job.
He did a great.
But let's not go too far and say he deserved an Emmy just because he had an emotional performance based on Denzel's quips.
Yeah,
I'll give him the nomination because you look at what's up, what else is out there, right? I mean, I know there are other things out there, so I'm just posing the question, like, what else would be in that same category or would be like in the race? Who else? You know, like we have to think about it, but
that's a good question. It's a good question you pose.
You know, because it really just depends on what else out there at the same time is good enough to negate him.
And I'm already like thinking that if I think deep enough, I'll come up with some answers.
Okay, all right. Well,
the fact that it's not that easy.
Season 2.
Yeah, that motherfucker deserves
it. That's
I didn't hear a lot.
worthy.
I started watching it, but then I had other shows that I was watching, like I was deeper into
and that felt like Chicago, like
the nigga from Succession. Like, you could pick any of them motherfuckers. All three.
And do you even watch Succession yet?
I've heard great things though.
Woo, amazing.
Yeah, I ain't gonna front. Like, I mean, I think he.
You like any series that's like beyond the Snowfall is that FX?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we talk about HBO series and things like that. Like,
but they got Atlanta. They got Meet Dave.
Just Dave. Yeah.
Fargo.
Rami Rami's on. Is he on FX?
No, Rami's on
what's the motorcycle gang show?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Anarchy.
Yeah, I ain't
Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy.
I ain't watching that shit.
I didn't watch it either, but I'm saying it's like one of those shows that got to follow.
Back to his performance.
All right, yeah, back to
and the season finale.
Okay, I'm gonna put like this. All right, Damson had a great performance. I think it was believable as fuck. The thing is, he transformed himself into that guy. You know what I'm saying? He's I think it's an iconic character when we look back in 20 years, the same way we look back on The Wire and you see Stringer Bell, you see Wood Harris and them dudes. They played these roles amazingly, you know what I'm saying? I think this will be that in 20 years. You know what I'm saying?
James St. Patrick.
Yeah.
Franklin Saint versus James St. Patrick?
Bro, Franklin Saint is winning this, bro. I mean, I'm sorry. No, James St. Patrick is definitely winning this. My apologies.
A more believable killer? For sure. But I think at the end of the day...
I like well, we're going to like create balance in this conversation.
I know what you're about to say. You're about to fucking fly off the wall, and I know it.
Series.
Oh God. Oh, she's going to say it.
Is better than the Power series as a whole.
It's a series. That's a show. That's a whole series. That's a universe. This is one
Power universe, bro. Yeah. We're talking about a universe.
If we talk about the original Power show versus Snowfall show, then hell no, it ain't close.
Hey, what you just give some input real quick. First of all, how you feel about the series? Did you see the season finale? Series finale?
Yeah.
Is it solid? Do you like it? All right, and I love it as well, right?
Finally found Peaches, man.
Okay, Power.
Never seen it.
Never seen Power. All right, but he's seen Snowfall.
Here's the thing: Snowfall is better. If you're talking like
absolutely
because Snowfall is believable. Like Power, it's not believable.
It's starting to get like really ridiculous.
Well, all right, look. So first,
after the third season, I'm saying the writing.
This nigga James owns a club. He's running for public office as he's a serial killer, selling bricks with a laundromat.
He's proven innocent of all that. No,
everything.
I'm playing. No.
We still ain't seen the Queen's Child Project. I be in Queens all the time.
Damn.
That shit ain't there. shit ain't there, man. I just want to put that out there.
Nah, and it's like
so
it's
Omari Hardwick as
also,
James St. Patrick versus Damson as Franklin Saint. Who has the better performance?
Look, I
Another
can't,
variant.
It's hard to go against Ghost for me on this.
But
I'm not taking anything away from.
I love his performance. Like I love Omari's performance as Ghost.
I'm gonna say this.
But I love Damson's performance.
I love Damson. He's a hell of an actor.
Yeah.
But if I gotta choose, I'm going Ghost. Like that nigga was.
You want to get the job done?
Yeah, I'm going Ghost.
Get the job done.
I feel like Ghost is a better character. You know what I'm saying? Like in the sense of what this show is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Plus, Ghost Power is based off that one person.
Right.
Snowfall had three different stories. You know what I'm saying? 4 different stories. So you didn't. So Damson was the main character because we were interested in that, but people could love Gustavo, people could love Teddy, so it's 3 different separate stories. Mm-hmm. Power was strictly based on what he does.
Yeah,
and that's
how
30
it affects everybody.
Yeah, that's 30 minutes or an hour strictly based off of what Ghost does. Snowfall had another thing, but in the grand scheme of things, I think Franklin Saint would be we'll have 20 years, we'll still be talking about that character. I don't know if we'll still be talking about Ghost. Well, we even talk about that nigga now. Like we talking about his son and like, you know.
I mean, they got some fuck shit going on right now. But all right, so this series finale, man. I don't see how anybody could ever have made the decision that CeCe Saint actually made and shot the man right.
That was the dumbest fucking shit.
I mean, like, I'm talking about 10 seconds.
I don't know who to be mad at. It's like that. This is weird. It's kind of like that Selena Yolanda effect. Like the lady who played Yolanda in the Selena movie. I'll never like her when I watch anything. If she appears in it, I'm like, if I see her on the street, it's like, you're the one. Mm-hmm. I get that same feeling with this lady that plays
CeCe Saint.
CeCe Saint. And I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say this lady. That's terrible. I don't know her name. I could look at her name.
What's up? Yeah, but
or should I be mad? Well, look, anyway,
I can see her grabbing a rebound.
Oh, that's bogus. That's real bogus.
Oh man! All right.
Should I be mad at her or should I be mad at the writers? All right, because
I don't know.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. That decision, it didn't make sense.
Literally,
and I felt Franklin. I felt Franklin was like, "Fuck you, bitch."
It was the dumbest shit.
Fuck you, bitch. I felt that shit because I was like, "Fuck this bitch."
Oh my god!
3 things.
Straight up, I was feeling that so bad. You didn't have to do that. We worked too hard for this shit. Why was she even there? Why the fuck did they even bring her into the picture?
3 things.
They could have sent her ass off to an island. She had no right to even be there at the exchange.
Why would I? Like, I got these 2 dudes tied
up. Why the fuck is she there?
Got a CIA agent and a KGB agent tied up. Why am I bringing my mom to the warehouse? All right. And then second, when they were in the warehouse, Franklin was planning on really like messing up. Like he was planning on killing him. And Sissy's like, "You don't want to do this. You don't want to make this decision and go down this road.
We already went down the road.
I don't want you to turn into this. You don't want to turn into this person." First of all, he's already that person.
Had dick.
But the thing is, like, she's saying that, and then she decides to kill him. Like, the decision making versus the logic that she was trying to share with Franklin beforehand makes no sense how those dots connect.
This is where it fucked up because she asked this nigga while he was on the phone. What's the first, like, as a child, somebody told me don't talk to an adult when they on the phone. This nigga on the phone about to get you $37 million.
I love
it.
He's like, fuck up. I fucking killed him. What do you mean?
Yeah,
let me finish this call.
Buried him somewhere. Like,
let me finish the phone call.
You want to be like,
I'm fucking talking on the phone. Like, what are you bothering me for?
Let me get this number. Like,
of course I killed him. What?
What are you talking about? I chopped his
dumbass.
You thought I decapitated him and threw him in the ocean. What are you talking about?
What are we talking about? Is this really a conversation?
Alternate coming back, but this $37 million is like I ain't gonna hold. There is no time in life where I would ever do anything to my mother.
Man.
But $37 million to make you motherfucking think about it. You know what I'm saying? 37,
like,
hey, man.
Nothing like this. I would understand.
All of a sudden, she's trying to atone. It's over.
Yeah, like
let me do
you didn't do nothing. But
go somewhere with these millions and feel however you want to feel. If you don't want it, go to Africa with Wanda.
I'm already a monster.
Go to Africa with Wanda.
What the fuck?
Oh my God.
I'm already a monster. Let me be a rich one.
I don't understand why.
For the mother to take that money and that food out of his mouth and his baby's mouth,
and to be down with it the entire time,
and then to have some type of come to Jesus moment, like Franklin's already lost. I could have been a lost nigga with $37 million.
The wife. I mean, he put his hands on her, so I understand.
Yeah, he fucked up that. She wasn't going nowhere.
She was
solid.
Legitimate, man. Like she was sticking by him. Like she literally,
solid,
first of all, when her mom was like, "Yo, we got this backup plan," I was on her mom's side. Yeah. I was like, "Yo, you should have went with your mom."
Absolutely,
like, no question.
Get the fuck out of here.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is perfect. Like, yeah, go. Even if I'm Franklin,
I love that dynamic. That dynamic was pretty cool.
I would have been like,
because I also respected her decision to stick by Franklin.
She stuck with
but
that
it was
nigga
stupid.
through everything, man.
Yeah,
Veronique was a great ride or die until you put all
she was stupid.
She was
intelligently. No, I guess so. She took the money. I mean, she good. She took the money on all accounts. She was bogus, man.
800,000.
Like, oh my God. Like, I built. Like, do you understand? If I was Franklin, it is fucked the world now. It is legitimate. Like,
and he
my
plays
mom
that.
ruined.
Like
my mom ruined my $37 million.
My woman
my
took
wife
my
took the rest of my $800,000 and my unborn kid
$3 million
and my unborn son. My
best friend.
Hey, I'm sorry. I fast forward to the moment where he needed the safe open. He needed the safe open, and it was.
I knew he was gonna kill that dude too.
Yeah, I knew it, man.
I feel like when he walked out and he had to kill dude and then come back in, it was like.
But also, I want to say this. I want to say this.
It's unraveling.
Leon was not wrong for not giving him.
Oh no. Leon and Jerome were the two most stand-up characters in the show. Jerome lost me when he killed that girl.
Yeah, when he had to beat her,
As soon as he did that.
He had to beat her ass like that.
That turned me off from Jerome. But like Jerome was low key a victim in the show.
Yeah, he was a victim
because Louis was literally trying to get out the life. He was trying to have his car shop or his
doing everything for this woman, and this woman's ambition is fucking up everything.
Love will get you killed.
I mean,
that's what's happening.
It's that idea when you start questioning the dynamics between like, a successful man and a successful woman in a relationship. Right, and like who has to take the step back in order to let that person, succeed. And I guess it's different in a lot of different relationships. Historically, we know that typically the woman takes a step back, and lets the man kind of fulfill his career, and we're seeing that transition
in this patriarchal society.
And we're seeing how it's playing out now. But like even so, like in shows like this, but even so, I mean, like this is a perfect example of like, we had everything perfect. And since every individual person wants to now be at the top, everything is fucked up.
Everything's gonna fall.
Nobody knows how to work in a team cohesively,
right?
With just one or two people understandably being the head of the group or whatever.
It was all Louis' fault.
It was definitely all Louis'
Everything
fault.
failed because of Louis.
Yeah.
Louis wanted the plug. Took the plug from Franklin. Now Franklin was on defense. Then they put them against him. Then that put Teddy with Louis.
Yep.
Then it creates the art.
And she was saying the whole time, like, she was hella selfish in the shit. But she was literally like, you know what it's like to feel, to be in a business surrounded by men where nobody listens to you.
She was still mad when,
but you making all this,
all this
boss,
money.
like what?
Why is that the problem?
Why you gotta be?
Why you
gotta be mad about this? Like,
if I can make millions of dollars and you don't know who the fuck I am, perfecto mundo. Like,
hey, Oso.
Got off great.
Also, the third other stand-up guy in the show.
To me, he's the number one.
Right.
There was a happy ending here.
Oso
had the happy ending.
He was going through it,
and he should have had the happy ending. He did everything right.
He was the most loyal dude in the whole show.
And if
everybody.
If we have a spinoff,
I don't even know how he was able to do this.
If we have a spinoff, let's see Oso. Why the fuck would we want to watch Wanda?
Tell me how Wanda's life is.
Why do we want to watch a Wanda spinoff?
Why is Wanda's life about to be?
What is the premise, bro? What is the challenge?
She's coming back.
What's the problem?
She's coming back to LA to run the clinic.
I don't want to see that.
Grey's Anatomy made a whole fucking show based off of niggas in the hospital. I think I think some crackheads in the clinic could do numbers. They could do numbers. And I'm not saying they're gonna do a line numbers.
You make a good point.
You know
I just don't.
But some crackheads in the clinic, I'd watch.
We don't want
some alliteration right there.
You know what I'm saying? You get a little bit of Leon.
That's alliteration.
You might see Saint walking past.
Leon is not the same.
You
Did
might
you see this man? Like it's over. It's Jerry Curl.
To be honest, I don't know how the fuck they gonna pull this show off.
This was like seven. Like what time frame? This was 80s. This was 70s going into the 80s.
It's going at like 91. Like Boys in the Hood, right?
Yeah, so it ended at 1990.
90. Okay. Yeah.
So 91, you get the riots. You get Rodney King getting his ass whooped. Rest in peace, Rodney King. He is.
Yeah, a few people. Harry Belafonte passed away recently too.
Out of share. Wait, he has perished, has he? No.
Damn, I don't know, man.
Well, if he has it,
he did.
If he has it,
yeah, he did.
Well,
it's a damn shame.
Rest in peace to Rodney King. Okay. But you have that. You have the race riots. You got the uprising of Bloods and Crips even more. You have all these things.
No more Snowfall. It's something else, bro.
You got Bill Clinton.
I don't want to see Wanda at the front of that.
Three strikes rule.
Yeah, you got 3 strikes. There's a lot of shit you could turn into the show.
Like prison, like the mass investments in prisons.
Yeah. I don't want to see Wanda.
Why is Wanda in the middle of all
That's what I'm saying. Like, this
where
is
does
like
Wanda make sense? Why do you want to come back to LA? So where the fuck is she back in LA?
For a spinoff here. Wanda's not it, man.
Now, if Leon went back to Ghana and would start slinging, never mind. Never mind. Shout out to my people from Ghana. I love you all.
Slinging in Ghana.
I love y'all guys, man. But
hey, it might be onto something here.
Listen, man. Snowfall overseas, man. Call it sunlight.
Also, just follow Oso. Period.
But what Oso doing? That nigga ain't doing nothing but wrestling. Teaching wrestlers.
Oh, yeah.
I actually forgot. Nigga doing the lucha libres. He ain't doing shit but sloop back some niggas off the top rope. He ain't doing nothing.
All right, hey, that's a good point.
This shit gotta end. How about we just leave the show same way we left The Wire?
You're right. But all right, look. But when you think about like spinoffs are very successful. All right, one of my favorite all-time shows, Breaking Bad, better than Ozark.
It's not better than Ozark.
Never seen
crazy spinoff with Better Call Saul. Amazing.
Never watched
show.
Better Call
6
Saul.
seasons. Extremely.
I ain't never seen either one.
Okay. You didn't see
Not talking about it. So.
I mean,
I watched the first episode. I watched the first 2 episodes, but I did hear that is the greatest pilot ever written and shown.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad has the best pilot. And they said if you want to write TV, that's what you watch. That's the episode that you watch. They say that and Cheers, or like that and Cheers or something else. But Breaking Bad was the one. Was numero uno. Like motherfuckers do whole classes on. This is how you write it, from introducing characters, fleshing out the world, whole 9. It's based on Breaking Bad.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Even further solidifies the impact that it has over Ozark.
I mean,
Ozark is.
You have Breaking Bad over The Wire.
Ozark is a better show.
You know what? I will definitely
He's not
admit,
a Wire
I
believer.
never dove into The Wire like fully, like from beginning to end. I've seen episodes, for sure. I know about Stranger.
It's like the most, to me, the most realistic.
I never like dove into it as much to watch it episode to episode.
That's a great TV show I've ever seen in my life. I've ever watched. That and Fleabag.
About Sopranos.
Atlanta's better than Fleabag. Fleabag is amazing.
Fleabag is probably
Fleabag is amazingly written.
Do you have a similar perspective
with
this guy on Atlanta? Because he literally is like top 5 greatest shows of all time over here.
Yeah, Atlanta's there.
It's up there, bro.
Oh man,
it's up there. I mean, you live in Atlanta.
I just fear, man.
I think you'd enjoy the shit.
I just fear because it's just like
you watch a jail episode.
This is the
that
for
was
me,
real.
Outside of a few like
that was real.
Outside of a few like amazingly purposeful episodes, right? And we can point those out because there's been some amazing episodes in there. I like literally see this as like a show about nothing, man.
Hey,
Seinfeld.
It is the Black Seinfeld.
Curb Your Enthusiasm has these are.
I think that was the intention.
And the thing is like,
but done very well.
I don't watch TV for that.
There has to be a beginning, a problem, and it has to be solved.
It ain't gotta be solved. This has got to be a purpose to what I'm watching.
Some of these Atlanta shows.
There's some funny shit in it. Like I'm not even lying.
I love
the most recent where they had like the chick following him around with the knife and the damn the old lady in the
that was funny
in the chair.
The one where niggas where they got stuck in Atlantic Station and couldn't leave. I see that. That's probably like a thing. Niggas don't leave Atlanta Station from what I'm told now. They didn't leave them back then.
I mean, you get lost in that parking lot, in the parking deck. You're like, what the hell? But
I feel like, man,
I still hate Atlanta Station. I told you the story about that $100 date where I only had 90. I took a girl out and I only had $100 in college, and we went to a spot in Atlanta Station and we spent $90.
Damn.
And I had $10 left to eat for like 3 weeks. Bro, I had rice. Straight up.
You good? You survived off Chris Crust?
Chris Crust and rice, nigga.
Chris Crust
I think I stole your rice. Your rice from Mel rice. Nigga left, threw a whole bag of rice in the pot, nigga. Threw some butter in that shit. Cause niggas, we ain't had no sugar or no salt or nothing, bro.
That's hell, bro.
All right, man. That's a real story from Atlanta Station.
You wasn't a noodle person?
Nah,
was it ramen noodles?
Nah, man, I couldn't dress them up the way I wanted to. Plus, I was living on these niggas' couch, so they had a lot of options. A lot of options there, bro. Like, it was just, you gotta just get it where you fit in. But nah.
Hey, man, you'll come up as legendary, bro.
Appreciate that.
Come up as quite legendary, man. We'll spare the details for now.
Yeah, please.
It's
gotta
image
image
the
whole.
That has to be a show in itself. Save that for
quite legendary.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But that Edge for sure. Then, oh man, shout out the kid, man. I was about this close to just shout out the kid, man. I'll tell you the story. It's a nasty story, bro.
We'll talk.
Yeah, it was paradise. Now I was living paradise, bro. I had omelets getting made every day, cheese omelets. Niggas was broke. Niggas was broke. She put a little ham in there. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
And then it all got pulled out from under me. Yeah.
I'm not saying anything. I just
No, you're not.
like this is,
It was great times, man.
Like
all because of a shuttle.
Dive into
A fucking shuttle.
It's great times. Great times. Man, we have to write about it. We gotta.
It was fun. It was fun. Being broke in Atlanta, was probably the greatest shit ever. It was the greatest shit ever. These niggas got their refund checks, balled out.
It's the only time we balled out. The refund days, man.
Texas Roadhouse.
Hey, fresh man. When I
Those
came down here,
refunds,
freshman
and we
year.
had like massive refunds. We had different types of refunds.
I don't know what these niggas did to juke the
like,
system.
No, we didn't juke the system. We got juked. Okay, like the whole Art Institute. Like I went to Art Institute of Atlanta. If you took out an creative education loan, that's what they call it, creative education loan. Dog, those interest rates, like ridiculous, man. And I mean, you could just tell that they was accepting people.
Everybody.
Really, they was accepting.
There's some hood niggas down that motherfucker, straight from the west side of Bankhead niggas in that
like,
motherfucker. I said, these niggas. Thing is, you got accepted no matter what.
No matter what.
Like you applied and you could pay. You could pay.
It's like they opened the floodgates. It was like, man, we gotta let any nigga in here.
Yo, we gotta pay this shit back.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Get these niggas in debt.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. Damn. All right, look.
Financial literacy episode coming up.
Before we close out, Sean, what's been going on the front? I saw you at the event. I saw you at your thing.
Oh yeah. Last night, man, we was at company called Next Play did a Next Play Spotlight Atlanta event downtown, and it's a volunteer event, so it was pretty much networking with like Black and Latin professionals to kind of offer opportunities for again networking, but recruiting opportunities for the 4 companies that was there. So company I work for, Autodesk, Snapchat was there. Let's see who else was there. Cisco was there, and
not the singer. Or the
another company called Main Street. I can't remember exactly what they did, but it's like the 4 sponsors, and I got to volunteer and kind of join. Malcolm Jamal Warner was there, which was cool. He got he kind of hosted it.
That's fire.
He did like 5 poems actually.
Really?
Yeah, he's like an artist, honestly. He releases
artist.
albums. No, for real, he releases albums.
Like spoken word, George?
Yeah. I think he was kind of shamelessly plugging in for his most recent release.
Homeboys in Outer Space?
No, it was.
Plug that shit, huh?
I don't know what.
You plug that shit, huh?
But it was Hiding in Plain Sight or Hiding in Plain View. I think that's the name of his most recent release. But yeah, man, it was some dope poetry. But outside of that, the speakers were amazing. It's pretty much just like the head of diversity, DEI for each company, and great speeches. I got to touch base with a lot of, I think, really intellectual professionals that, of course I passed on to. Matter of fact, you said your nephew was there, which is crazy.
Man, he went, had a ball. He had a great time. Said he met a lot of great people, man. And it's great that he has that opportunity down here in Atlanta to get in that space to where you can meet people in tech and kind of like expand his network. Because when we were moving to Atlanta, we didn't have that these opportunities that y'all are presenting, man, especially to people of color. So I think that's fire that he was able to hear about it. He heard about it on LinkedIn, and he was like, "Let me go." And he said he met great people. He's building relationships within these worlds. So I think that is key, because like I said, when we were coming up, we didn't really have that opportunity. So that the fact that y'all are bringing this out there for people to be able to grow their name within that tech space, I think that's amazing. And you being a person who I know personally to do it is fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's dope. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, man. The main idea was just kind of giving them ideas on how to navigate the corporate structure, and, how to really kind of influence your career progression, as like a underserved minority in tech and whatever. So, kind of discussing the unwritten rules of career advancement, which are definitely different when you kind of look at the the different kind of groups out there when you're looking for new roles. And definitely in the corporate world, it's like one of the main things that kind of came up with this acronym that they were kind of pushing is called PIE. So focusing on these three elements of the acronym is how you want to kind of most effectively motivate that career progression. And the P is performance. Of course, I think as we all know, like whatever your current role is, you have to perform in that, like regardless of what it is, right? You gotta go above and beyond in your performance of whatever your current role is. The next is image. So, within that corporate world, within your environment, your image matters. I know we have a lot of people that's like, I don't care what people think of me, and, I just want to live by my own terms. And, in reality, it's just not like that. You just really can't just live by 100% of your own terms. And, you can do what you want to do, but you're going to be perceived a certain way, and that's going to impact your image. And, you can not care about it, that's fine, but if you're trying to get to a certain point, you have to nurture that image and really build your brand.
And mostly that's like, that involves relationship building within corporation. That's obviously,
It's networking. It's, being involved in extracurricular, events or activities within your org. It's being a subject matter expert, sharing best practices, sharing your successes with other people, and hopefully have that impact on them. But that's, image, and then the E is exposure. So you got performance, image, and exposure. So the performance can be great, your image can be on point, but if you don't get that exposure, if nobody knows, then you really can't, actually impress the people that can move the needle for you.
Make an impact.
It's about like creating internal advocates and champions of your brand wherever you're at, so that when you're not in the room, the right people are saying the right things about you to the right people. So you got performance is like what image being, kind of who and then exposure being, kind of a combination of both, but more so who knows you.
Gotcha.
So it was amazing, amazing event. And I got another one on Saturday. Hidden Genius Project is doing another cohort of, I forget how many, I think they're doing like 26 students, and the premise behind this is like an interview day. So another volunteer event where, Autodesk has a presence where I'm, representing the company, and it's really just like interviewing young black males, young black geniuses, and I would say assessing their candidacy for the Hidden Genius Project, like 15-month program.
Gotcha.
So that'll be tomorrow morning, which will be another interesting event where trying to get involved in the community. I think I've had like an interesting level of success and kind of career progression here.
And you've been recognized, like tell us about like the recent award you got.
Oh well, internal is a company thing, but I won a manager MVP of the year award, which was pretty cool.
Oh shit.
It was pretty dope. So we got a good number of managers. Autodesk, it's a global company. So
and you got to meet. Remind me again.
Jackie Joyner-Kersee.
Oh, gold medalist.
Yeah, highly regarded as the greatest female athlete of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, she gave an amazing kind of speech and hosted a couple of events there, and then I got to get a signed copy of her book Like I had some like one-on-one time with her, and told her that she needs to do a Netflix documentary because her story is pretty amazing. Which would be like ideal for a documentary. You see all these documentaries out these days, and 8 episodes of your life story, and she like if you're highly regarded as the greatest female athlete of all time, like that's
right.
marquee right there.
And today's like standard is Serena Williams. I don't even think like in the mainstream public we even hear Jackie's name. Yeah. Like I'd like us growing up, like our father, like held her in high regard. Yeah. So we knew of her, which is a cool little like 360 moment where you get the opportunity to actually meet her. That's just super dope. Yeah. But yeah, like absolutely, like why not?
Those stories gotta be told, man. I feel like what I'm saying. Stories of like black, black heroes and black athletes who, like Carl Lewis. Like you don't hear these stories like what they had to overcome in these times. You know what I'm saying? So I think that brought to the forefront, man. I think that's always fire. You know what I'm saying? Like you see these stories, like you see what they overcame to get to this point, and to even surpass what their expectations were. Can't beat it. You know what I'm saying? Like I think black people have the greatest success stories, told. You know what I'm saying? Over time, I think to me.
Because of the odds, it's all about the odds. The odds that we have to overcome. I was just having a conversation with one of my coworkers. He's I forget which country he's from. It's in India, and I just forget the actual country. But he said where he is, and this is I'm speaking more along the lines of overcomings, right? He said where he grew up, he was actually like he didn't have any like really like real struggles. The area that he was in, he was what he described as the suburban white kid, the privileged. And he said when he came here, and he's in tech and design. It's like, oh, now I feel like I don't know anybody. Like nobody really values my work. Like starting out, like he's actually there's some struggle, there's some adversity there. And while talking to him, I'm like, man, I recognize that. That's pretty cool because he's in a good position right now.
Right.
And he's had to kind of start from maybe I don't know if it's zero, but like
less than what they normally start.
Exactly here, and then climb up to some type of exposure and success. And I'm like, dude. And we have a big DEI initiative, like, we've adopted that in our company as well, BZU.
What is that?
I was like, it's a credit union. Credit union fintech is what's like the second largest credit union in the nation. Mm-hmm. And they just hired a black woman for the CEO. I love the team. It's like actually the first team that I really, really love. I enjoy working with the people, the organization. Like they really hold true to their word. It's not just a mission. And that's what I hear with Autodesk as well. Yeah. This specific individual, I had to respond like, and I'm hearing him, and I'm like, man, that's cool that you're getting over that adversity. I couldn't help but still add into the mix like, man, we start from zero, bro. Like, now I was like, now you get a taste of that, but we started from zero,
literally from nothing.
And being from where we're from specifically, we're starting from zero. We're starting from what feels like
zero, man. Like you gotta admit, we start
in the negative. We're in the negative, and it's so much.
I think the biggest difference is though, because I have like not really a challenge with it because I like to talk and I know how to paraphrase. I know how to like kind of connect with people through my journey and my challenges that I've had. I know how to share those and not like kind of get caught up in my own story. Mm-hmm. But because if I look at it to be quite honest, it's not like I've had a lot of situations where like I was challenged with some kind of racist component, or something that may have obviously held me back, in an unfair way, because my mindset, and I know that has happened, so many, like, you know, a billion times, you know, from all of the you know, the minority groups out there and people that look like us, when trying to break into a certain career, or, you know, just kind of be successful. But I never really allowed that mindset to hinder me, to be quite honest. You know, like, even if, like, I can walk in a room and, you know, I honestly don't care who's in the room. While I'm not, like, you know, while I'm humble enough to, like, not actually feel like I'm better than anybody.
Right.
I'm confident enough to walk in any room and, like, not be intimidated by anybody's, like, success.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, like, I've never allowed the mindset of, you know, I'm a black man trying to break into, you know, this white corporate world, or, you know, I've never allowed that mindset or that struggle, that challenge to stop me from knowing that I'm about to succeed anyway.
Right, and that has a lot to do with our upbringing as well, though. Like, we were trained that way, and a lot of people don't get that training. Yeah. So this experience, for example, being black in tech, breaking in tech, it's like this is an open door, and people are walking through of all likes, you know, and with different backgrounds, with different challenges, and. Yeah, I think it's cool that we challenge that. I share the same sentiments as you. Like, that's not. I love. How can I say? I love being black. I love being in tech. I love being black in tech. I don't have to represent completely black in tech.
Yeah. I see. I get that point.
You know, like but I'm not gonna fight against it, and I'm not gonna make it a battle. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm more so, because I agree with that. You know, I don't necessarily identify as, like, somebody who's just like, I'm black in tech, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I know that, you know, I'll just be a resource, or Absolutely. Like, I don't want to call myself a role model or anything like that, because I think that's, you know,
you're naturally going to be that, though.
I do want to be an example for people that are looking to navigate the corporate structure well, as somebody like, you know, my color. Because while I haven't, you know, while I haven't felt like I've needed to fight that fight, because I just don't think that way. You know, I know that a lot of people either do think that way or actually do have to fight that fight.
Absolutely.
You know, and I want to rather, you know, just look, you know, however I could pull you up, or, you know, if I could be a resource, get somebody a role, introduce you to the recruiter, you know, tell you to, you know, prep you for an interview session, like, you know, give you the insider info on what you might be asked, or how you could be successful in this, you know, that's kind of what I want to do. So, it's kind of like the purpose in me kind of volunteering a little bit more around Atlanta for the company, because I've got the platform right now.
I love to hear it. We gotta close out. Before we do, I want to say, so, like, recently, you know, we celebrated the transition of our grandmother. It was a time of mourning. I don't know. I've been thinking about her lately, and I don't know. I was just like, I wasn't even expecting to, like, actually bring this up, but she's on my mind. And Dorothy Lehman, she was everything to me, just as a woman growing up, someone I looked to. Love talking to, love digging into the history of where we're from. She had that sense of pride. When I say we were trained, it's not only our mother and father, it's our grandparents, and she was one of those people for me. So, yeah, I just wanted to recognize her in this. The only reason we doing this, like, being in Atlanta, being successful as we are, I feel like I owe a lot of that to my grandmother. So, wanted to take the time to actually recognize that. And yeah, Dwayne, I'm glad you're here, man.
Of course. Also, I just want to chime in. The woman was amazing. She will forever live on, because, like, again, she raised y'all, and y'all are amazing dudes. You know what I'm saying? She welcomed me in. You know what I'm saying? No matter what the situation was, even when it was, you know, I was not the good guy, she still was, like, still treated me as such. You know what I'm saying? And, like, every time I seen her, it was always love. She never forgot me. She always, like, made sure I was good. She always asked, "How are you doing?" It was never like, "Hey, thank you for, like, talking about anything else." She's like, "How are you doing? How's everything where you at?" You know what I'm saying? That goes with your grandfather as well, man. So I think, and I always say, people may not be here in the physical form no more, but everything that they left behind falls into y'all, you know what I'm saying? And the people that they raised and like y'all cousins and everything else. So I think that as long as y'all keep that in mind, bro, no one ever really dies. Shout out to you know what
Absolutely.
I mean?
Absolutely.
So, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, man, she showed y'all everything. And aside from that, she left your mother and them the greatest recipe for deviled eggs ever. So that will forever, that will forever live on. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? Amazing woman, man. And she's always going to look down on y'all, man. And I always tell people, peep the signs. You know, so you may see a bird or something. You may see something that reminds you of that person that just lets you know that they're thinking of you the same time as you think of them. You know what I'm saying? So,
the next time you come, bro, you got to sit in another seat.
You heard that?
So, yeah, I'm hearing it the whole time. But
I was leaning back.
Whatever.
Yeah,
it's whatever. Cam, we miss you. Yeah.
Shout out to Young Cam, man. He has a great palatial estate. He lives in a great area. God damn. Yeah. Fuck all that. These niggas are doing great, bro. This nigga has a crib. It's fire. I'm sorry. It's fire. He lives around the corner, and it's a nice area. And Cameron lives in an amazing. Look, as a person who lives in New York and the apartments are like square boxes, these brothers are doing great. That's all I got.
Word. Well, I think we can wrap it up there. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Browse Up Podcast. We out.
Peace.